Chains, man. We got a special edition of Moving the Chains, man. Let the people know who you are.
What's going on, people? Skylar, not too much about me. Just a regular 9-to-5 guy, speaking for the real niggas, man. So, you can follow me on that gram, number 3, spell out 10, and it's the numbers 8 and 9. So that's what it is when it come down with me, man. I'm just here for the entertainment, man.
All right. Well, Skylar, look, this is a special edition of Move the Change, a little different than what we normally do.
For sure.
But you kind of like the Black Jim Rohn with this, so we had to get you one-on-one, man, because a lot of stuff that happened in sports lately. But we gonna set it off with the NFL draft first, bro.
Absolutely.
Of course, the biggest story of the draft, Shedeur Sanders, bro, falling in the draft, bro. Tell me what you think about that.
Of course, they try to set an example. Like I know, he should have went to first, maybe the second round. Great quarterback, great arm, mobile guy. And us being down here in Louisiana, of course, a lot of Saints would rather him be, quarterback for the Saints, but it didn't fall like that. And I'm thinking it's falling back on on Deion, because Deion was great at what he did on a high level, baseball and football. So that'd be a way of white folks trying to, flex their power and let you know that, being black, intelligent, and being a stand-up guy about yours is a threat at the end of the day. So I feel like they try to send a message through Shedeur, but through all in all, he got drafted, and hopefully the black brother does great things in his career. So.
All right. So let me ask you this then, based off of that. Do you think the NFL trusts black quarterbacks?
Trust? To a certain degree. I guess I trust them to do their job, but it's no loyalty. It's really not no loyalty, because as long as you have no service when it comes down to doing nothing, doing your job in the NFL, they can't do nothing with you. And especially when you have rights, we could go back to the Colin Kaepernick thing. So let you know when you really stand on something, being in the NFL, it come with a price to pay, and a lot of times, you're not able to be who you really are. So that's my take on that. So.
Okay. Look, we mentioned the Saints earlier.
Right.
How you feel about the Saints taking the offensive lineman over, them other skilled positions in that draft?
I don't know, man. I'm not in the office. I'm not in the office when it come down to that, man. I don't know. I guess they feel like that was the best thing they could have done when it came down to that. But for that, I'm not too well versed on that when it come down to O-line, D-line, none of that.
Right. So let me ask you this too then. Travis Hunter, he went second.
Okay.
Jacksonville traded for him to get him at number 2. What you feel about Travis Hunter going to Jacksonville, and do you feel like, being that he's from Florida, that's gonna play a role and be a distraction in his progress as a football player?
Considering how he's been on social media since I've heard of him from Colorado, it might not be the best thing. They need some real guys in his corner in order for him to guide him and direct him and put him in the right path. Fairly young, we've all been young before. We make mistakes, but you playing at a high level, you playing for a brand, so you have to carry that brand. You got a lot of people counting on you. So I wish him the best, but we was all 19, 20, 21 at a time. And there's a lot of money involved, so hopefully they get the right people in his corner in order for him to do the right thing. And that woman that he with, man, Lord.
You think he a sucker?
I think he's gullible. He's naive. I think he's naive because I think that's probably his first, little bad thing,
Yeah, we done seen it happen quite a few times in this world.
Of course. But of course, when it comes down to that, you definitely need your first heartbreak early in life, I do believe, and I don't think he's had that yet. So ain't no telling how he's gonna react.
The stakes are way more high when you in the millions.
Oh yeah.
And you had your first heartbreak.
Oh yeah.
It might come with a hefty price tag.
Absolutely. And she know that. Man, didn't he just proposed to her, right?
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah, I thought so.
You said of course, huh?
Yeah, of course. Just like clockwork.
Right. Right. You know what? I feel like you got a little bit more to say about this, but you hold back a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the proof is in the pudding when it comes down to just social media in itself, man. I mean, the jokes write themselves. They write themselves when it comes down to these type of guys, man. We say this shit time in and time out when the guys, when in situations go into the league and, you know, they get to the league and it's the same story. Same story. You know the saying, ain't nothing under the sun, everything's been done under the sun. So it's just like, you know. But he don't even see the writing on the wall. So that brother gonna have to experience that shit for himself. Some people like to see it the hard way. So
Right. So look, we gonna move on from the NFL and the NFL draft.
For sure.
We gonna move this and push this to the NBA because we in the heat of in the midst of the playoffs.
stick it.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not just basketball right now. It's real physical.
Well, you know what? I wasn't gonna get to this, but because you said that, I'm gonna ask you a question, bro.
Absolutely.
What you think about what Draymond told Jalen Green, bro? With the go paint your nails, you a punk.
You gotta understand, Draymond a millennial nigga, man. I'm a millennial nigga, man. I'm 36. We come from that. I believe we need to advocate to bring bullying back because it was healthy. In my eyes,
Right.
a lot of people just too soft right now. And it's all part of the game. It's all part of the game, man. It's just what come NBA says no boys allowed, really. That's what it stands for. But I love it. I love every part of it.
So based off of that, I want to talk about that series, the Rockets and the Warriors. Do you feel like the reason why the Rockets are having such trouble with the Warriors is due to the fact that the Warriors play a little bit more of a man's type game in the sense of you got Draymond and Jimmy Butler over there on that team? Do you think that's the reason why Houston, even though they the number 2 seed, I believe, are struggling with Golden State?
What's your question? That was a loaded question.
Okay, basically, do you think that style of ball is the reason why Houston is having trouble with Golden State?
Golden State is Golden State at the end of the day. They've been there, they got the playoff experience. They're used to the physicality, man, because they've been doing this for a long time. And it's interchanging players throughout this run that they've been on ever since Steph been on there. Steph is used to the physicality. He's used to getting around those picks because that's how he gets a lot of his shots off. But now, considering the fact that the personnel that they have around Steph has to do a lot more. Do I think he can sustain this until, you know, if they can make a finals run? I'm not sure, but we'll definitely see. But they're definitely being physical with Golden State within the first round for sure.
Okay. So let me ask you this. We're going to move into another series. We're going to talk about the Lakers and the T-Wolves because,
All right.
you know, Lakers always a hot topic.
Of course.
So, first of all, what you think the Lakers' chances of winning this series?
From a business standpoint, I think the Lakers probably going to pull it off. I want Minnesota to win because of, you know, I'm a fan of the YNs, you know, the young niggas when it comes down to Anthony Edwards doing this thing. Love is confidence. And I like how Minnesota plays. Minnesota plays like a Golden State Warriors style of ball, how they put the ball into the air and they play a quick offense. But from a business standpoint, you know, you got Luka and you got LeBron. What rating's gonna do if Minnesota knocked them out in the first round? So my heart wants to go toward with Minnesota, but from a business standpoint, looking at it from NBA, it's probably gonna be the Lakers probably gonna pull that one out.
Right.
7-game series though. It's probably gonna be 7 games.
Yeah. And honestly, bro, I think that with the Lakers not having no bigs to combat against Minnesota, I feel like that's gonna be their downfall in that series.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And everybody trying to play small ball because Golden State made that popular.
Right.
You know, so
So are you a fan of small ball?
sometimes.
Yeah.
It can bite you in the ass. I've been watching Golden State a long time, and I've noticed, like I said, you live by the 3, of course you die by the 3. That's why you gotta have an in and out game. Even when Klay was there, you know, Klay had his moments, and they like to hang their hat on that, with that 60-point game.
Yeah.
He only dribbled the ball maybe like 3 fucking times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how many times has he played like that? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, so you can't really hang your hat on that. Just like with Minnesota and Lakers within whatever, the first or the second game. That was the first game. Man, Minnesota's on fire.
Yeah.
The boys wasn't missing shit. The boys were 50% from 3.
Yeah, but what's the odds that's gonna happen every night?
It didn't happen in the game too. It sure in the fuck didn't happen. Yeah. So when you live by the 3, you definitely die by the 3. Gotta have a balanced game, in and out.
Right. So look, before we move on to the Lakers, what you think about Kevin Gates and his statements in reference to LeBron and his wife?
Well, to add context to that, we got to go back to Stephen A. Right?
Okay, yeah.
I feel like Stephen A. was an easier target. LeBron, likes when the camera's on him and he knows, the time to do certain things.
You're saying it's premeditated?
It was definitely premeditated. Even when LeBron opened up all these books, he always on the first page. You know what I mean?
Hold on. Let's get this clear, because I'm pretty sure you're going to be back quite often. Where do you stand with LeBron in general? Because some people love him, some people hate him, some people are indifferent about him. Where does he stand with you?
Great player. I don't know him personally, but from what I'm seeing, I'm just like, if I'm a teammate of LeBron, considering from what I've seen, I know if I go to a team LeBron is on, after that, my career is pretty much over with.
So you basically say playing with LeBron like getting traded to the Browns or the Raiders?
Yeah, exactly. That's my take on it, because I don't know nobody that I could think of who's had a great career after they've left playing with LeBron. Nobody. He turns everybody into spot-up shooters. Now you have to play a certain role because his position is you can say a point forward, right? You can say a point forward for the most part. Has to have the ball a lot. So I think that's why him and Kyrie clashed a lot.
You know what though? I think Kyrie had, after playing with LeBron, Kyrie has shown to be still an elite player.
Of course, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, that's one. Kyrie.
Right. But as far as alpha males LeBron has played with, that's had a decent career after that, I would love for you to name them, because I can't think of shit.
Well, you know what? It's going to be a player that's still going to have a solid career after LeBron.
I mean, we can say Luka, but damn, Luka's still young, so that really
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis, huh?
Yeah.
He got to stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, but shoot, he made
made of glass, man. Shit.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because we didn't have you on before. What you think about that trade, AD for Luka?
At first, on paperwork, it looked like Dallas won. If Dallas would have remained to be healthy, Dallas would have been in the playoffs, and they would have made it to the semifinals, in my opinion.
Right.
In my opinion. But of course, Kyrie got hurt. Clay is a shell of himself. He's not that same Golden State Clay.
You think he's not the same, or he's always really been a compliment piece that looked better than what he really is?
Well, he's always been a compliment piece, and when it comes down to Clay, also he's in his head a lot because of that injury that he had. You got to remember, Clay got hurt, and he was out. Clay was out for like 2 years. I think Clay was out for 2 years. And he got hurt on some pickup ball shit. Yeah. It wasn't even nothing dealing with Golden State. So I think he in his head, and I think you never become the player that you once was once you had a severe injury to that magnitude. Yeah,
I think the only player that came back from a major injury like that and was still played at a high level was like Paul George.
Sean Livingston. That's another one too.
But his ceiling. He came in like the next Magic Johnson. He was hyped up, and then when he came back from injury, he was cool, but he wasn't the hype that he came in at.
Right. I know you were gonna say fucking Paul George for damn sure.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand why he's GOAT status. He ain't showed me a damn thing.
Well, you know what? I think with people like Paul George, if you're a great scorer or a good scorer, people ignore all the other facets of the games that you may not be that great in. You know what I'm saying? So, scoring is a premium in the NBA.
Of course. It's a scoring league.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I feel like Paul get a pass because of the fact that the one thing that he's really great at is at a premium.
Yeah, most definitely. But I'm not sold on the PG shit at all. And
what should be for PG?
Huh?
What should be for PG? What is it that you're not sold
on? Producing where when he goes to these teams, it's always it's big expectations every time they go somewhere because they think that he's going to give them something that
He gonna add that extra boost. I agree with you there. Oklahoma, he sold them out.
He did, and they still going off this Indiana shit. I mean, they still couldn't get past Miami. I mean, Miami was a powerhouse at that time. So, I mean.
Hey, but was Miami really a powerhouse? Because,
it was.
Because if you break it down,
it was.
It's 3 guys and a whole bunch of other guys that.
Great role players. Was Shane Battier not a great role player? 3-and-D. I see how you're looking. You don't agree, but Shane Battier was one of them niggas. One of them niggas that you need to win a championship. In my opinion,
I don't feel like the Miami teams had great depth.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
They had great role players.
Cause I mean, look at Norris Cole, man. After they split up, man, we didn't even see that boy in the league no more.
Yeah, you're right. Him or Chalmers, as a matter of fact. I think going on record with that, I think Rich Paul is going in an interview saying he don't consider Bosh a part of the big 3. They don't even consider that a big 3.
I mean, looking back, it wasn't a big 3. It was a tremendous 1.
Okay.
With a 2 that was on his way down, and a 3 that was glorified. I think Kevin Love was more of a dominant player than Chris Bosh.
Really?
And I hate to say that, but Bosh played his role great. But you can't depend on Bosh to dominate the game for you if you really needed him.
Oh, well, that wasn't his role.
It wasn't, but even after LeBron left and it was Wade and Bosh was still mid. You know what I'm saying? Like I think the whole thing in Toronto was a mirage.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
So stat-wise, Bosh was a 20-10 guy, right? 25. I think he was averaging like 24, right?
Like 22 and 10, something like that.
Okay. In the East, but Bosh ain't had no fucking help, so I think that's why the spotlight was highlighted on Bosh too. Because I mean, he was the only guy in there. Nobody wanted to work.
But if he ain't had no help, he should have been 32 and 10.
Could have, yeah, you're right. But I mean, but it was a reason why they wanted to pull him and bring him down to Miami. It was a reason why.
You know why? Because I think he didn't mind spotting up and taking them shots. He didn't mind. He knew how to stay the fuck out the paint for Bron and Wade. You know what I'm saying? I think that was the biggest thing. They saw the fit in Bosh's game as to why they wanted Bosh more than I think Bosh was just so dominant.
He was a great defender too. That's underrated. That's an underrated aspect of his game too. Great defender also.
Yeah.
So long, stretch, inside, guard the 3, guard the perimeter. So LeBron had a few good pieces, a lot of good pieces when it come down to that Miami team. So yeah, of course they had the quote unquote big 3, but it was a lot of good role pieces that he had on that team also.
Because I think Wade was. We talk about injury prone. We talked about AD, but Wade was suffering a lot of injuries too around that time.
Yeah, because of his style of play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had no knees, man. Pause. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Of course. But that style of play, which is ironic. He's a Chicago kid like D Rose.
Right.
I mean.
Right.
That style of play doesn't last.
Got to stay off that concrete, man. All that jumping, man.
There you go. Looks good, but damn, it's taxing on the body after a while.
Right. Well, you know what? I think Ja Morant is going down that same lane.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I definitely can see that. And them boys, they just got swept, I mean, by them being 8th in the West, and you know how the West is. The West always been strong.
Right. Do you think they got swept due to the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, they fired their head coach like almost right before the playoffs started?
That could have fucked up the morale.
Do you think that they pretty much waved the white flag when they fired the head coach?
That's an argument to be had. That could have fucked up the morale. It could have fucked up the locker room, the chemistry. Trying to bring somebody in there and don't know their personnel, don't know these guys' personality. It's gonna hit different. And then you playing OKC.
Right.
Number 1 in the West. It's not gonna be an easy task at all.
I heard a big reason too that the coach got fired was because Ja Morant wanted the offense to go more through him. Do you feel like a player like Ja Morant has the right to say? No, I don't.
it's still a lot. He has to mature a little bit more in order for that.
So when you say mature, what is it about him that's immature to you?
This shit, staying off of social media, the antics, man. You gotta understand something, man. I understand the NBA is entertainment, but you still represent the brand at the end of the day. And you're a black man at the end of the day. You're black. So we have to move accordingly. We have to move a certain type of way. That's just the way it is. We're in America, man. So by him doing this, and I get it, you know, it's entertainment and everything else, but as far as just going through, you want to be that franchise guy, there has to be a level of maturity that's there, and I don't think that's there yet.
So how you feel about this? He switched up the gun gesture to the grenade gesture.
I see that.
Did you think that was him still being immature, or what? Do you
To a certain degree it is.
Yeah.
To a certain degree it is. Man, these people paying you millions of dollars, man. That's all you got to do. Do your job, go home, and keep the dumb shit off camera. Simple, man.
So let me ask you this: Do you think he's acceptable to being traded because of the fact that he can't stay out of trouble?
If Luka can go, Ja can go.
Yeah, I feel you. So check this out. Do you think any player in the NBA is untouchable at this point since the Luka trade?
No.
Can Wemby be traded?
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
It's a business.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's a business. Anybody.
Do you think Bron can be traded?
Yes.
That's the one untouchable, and I'm going to tell you
in
why.
In his contract, it's it's no
trade
clause, ain't it?
It might be.
Yeah, so with those players, they exempt. But anybody, it's a business.
Yeah, but even if Bron didn't have it, I think because of the fact that he sells so many tickets, you'd be foolish to trade somebody that bring that much money in.
Okay, now in his situation with Bronny, right?
Right.
Let me ask you something. How long do you think LeBron has left? 'Cause this motherfucker's a robot. He been playing, 22 years?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I think what he gonna do is he gonna try to make it a 25 so nobody ever break his record.
All right. I can't.
And this is the reason why I say this, because he's playing at a high level at small forward. Worst case scenario, they can move him to the 4. He can play a slower style of game. And with his basketball IQ, he can still thrive in the sense of be a 16, 8, and 8 type guy in his last season. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he got the ability to maybe make it to 25. Now, if he want to go to 25, I don't think so. But if he decides that he wants to keep playing, he can go 25 years.
And it's for selfish reasons also. I think if you want to play that long too, that'd be just to get Bryce into the league too.
Well, I mean, why not? I mean, white people do it all the time with their kids, man.
You're right. Yeah.
You know, they'll make a phone call quick and get their kids hired.
You're right, but that's in upper management where their kids ain't got to sweat. That's the difference with us.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But we got to get in where we fit in. So I get it.
Right. I mean, I'd rather we abuse our power for something to our benefit than to not have it at all, because we don't ever get nothing anyway. Right.
But LeBron is definitely getting better.
Look. First of all, Bronny is getting everything he deserves. Let me tell you why. He got drafted at the end of the second round, and if you look at the guy that was drafted before him and after him, he got better G League numbers than both of them boys.
Yeah.
You know, so he got better G League numbers than most of the second round picks total. So, I mean, he making what they making. He playing better than a lot of what they playing. So I don't see what the problem is.
We know what the problem was when he first got in. We knew, a lot of people knew. You know, we bring up nepotism, and of course, white people do this, I get it. But we can't compare ourselves to white folks when it comes down to a lot of different things. We know what country we in. We know what it is.
Right.
And it was a guaranteed contract for a 55th pick.
Hey, but if you go back and look, the guy that was drafted before him got the same contract.
Did it? Who he play for?
Who, the other guy?
Yeah, who does he play for?
I had to go back and look.
You gotta fact check that one for me.
Yeah.
You gotta fact check one. But for far as I know, the 55th pick, it was a guarantee, $10 million contract?
I don't know if it was $10 million.
It was close to it, right?
I don't think it was 10.
But they know he gonna put ass in them seats.
Yeah, and he ain't gonna set a G League out for him. That's money. That's revenue that they wasn't gonna make.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? So
of course, Rich Paul, he put the hit out saying no nobody else touch it. Lakers will get him.
Yeah. So like maybe Shador, how they made a agreement with the owners. Hey, don't nobody take this kid until this round.
Yeah. I mean, hey, he got in there. That's all I say. Long as Shador got in there, man.
So how you feel about that? In one instance, LeBron able to get his kid drafted and selected, and in Deion's situation, he actually probably hurt his kid in getting selected.
Well, the difference is LeBron is still an active player. That's why.
Right. He's
active. If Deion was still an active player, maybe it could have been a difference. It could have been. But we also got to shine a light on what's Deion's other son, Shiloh, that's his name?
Yeah.
He got drafted. Shout out to that guy too, man. But that's the difference between those two. If LeBron's still active and Deion is not. So we definitely gonna see.
Right. Yeah. So look, let me ask you this too. With it being towards the end of the season, well, the regular season is over with. So based off of all that, who's your MVP?
Gotta go SGA, man.
What SGA you talking about?
I thought you talking about NFL.
No, I'm talking about NBA. What
NBA?
SGA? You talking about the Student Government Association?
No. SGA all day. SGA, man.
So look, I'm biased, and I would say SGA too.
All right.
But let me ask you this: why SGA over Jokic?
Cause Jokic done got it, man.
Oh, you can't do that though, bro. If you the best, you the best, man. You can't be like, man, you done won so many times. We gonna give it to somebody else, man.
Hey, but check this out though. Like this is the thing. Jokic he still had a phenomenal season, but is SGA not having a phenomenal season also?
Man, Jokic ain't never averaged no triple double. The other years he won the award, he averaging a triple double.
When it come down to it, man, maybe I'm biased, so fuck it. I say SGA for MVP.
Yeah.
Fuck it. We all biased.
Yeah.
That's okay. You joking, I'm SGA.
Hey, bro. It's one of the things. I almost feel like it's an unwritten rule that we rolling with SGA because of who he is and what he is. Because if we really look at it, I mean, Jokic probably is having a better season. Plus, if we look at it in all honesty, if Jokic wasn't playing for Denver would probably be in the running for Cooper Flag right now.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Jokic, man, definitely, man. Definitely a phenomenal ball player, man. Defense is but he plays the game at his pace. That's what I can respect, and he's a student of the game. And he's not ruled by the glitz and glam. He can give a fuck. He really don't give a shit. When they won the championship, they was asking him what was his plan.
Yeah, he was going back to Serbia to fuck with them horses.
Fuck with them horses, man. Yeah. So he above all the bullshit. And that's what I do like about the joke.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: who are your top players in the league?
As of right now, SGA of course, Anthony Edwards, Kyrie, Steph. We going 5. Where I'm at.
You doing 5? You want to go 5?
I could do 5. I'm so SGA.
You had Kyrie in your top 5?
Yeah, I had Kyrie. SGA, Kyrie.
Kyrie over Dame?
Dame?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Dame ain't the same Dame, and we see that over there because Giannis fucking his game up. And
Giannis ain't in the top 5?
Not my top 5.
So this top 5 preference, or you top 5 you feel like
skill.
The best skill?
This is based on skill. Giannis has no skill. He has no skill.
So let me ask you, how you feel about Shaq? Like when it came to ability, do you feel like it was more dominance, it was more skill, or a combination?
He was more skilled and dominant than Giannis, to me.
Yeah.
Dwight Howard was more skilled and dominant than Giannis, to me.
Yeah. So you feel like Dwight is more skilled than Giannis?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. And my thing is, those are true centers, in my opinion. And I'm kind of biased because, I'm a 90s kid my goddamn self.
Right.
So that back to the basket, bang, elbow, put it in there. Yeah. Giannis want to run the floor, want to run point guard, and you throwing everybody else off because you taking away from other guys' positions also. That's why Dame ain't the same Dame in Portland.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You'll get certain games where he'll do his thing,
but it ain't the same.
Giannis, he one of those players who he don't make his team better. He don't.
So I heard you say this off camera. Do you feel like basically Giannis kind of have a game like LeBron where guys get worse playing with him rather than better?
LeBron definitely has a better game because.
Well, no, he has a better game, but I remember hearing you say when guys stop playing with LeBron or leave from playing, their game suffer. Do you feel like Giannis had that same effect on players?
To a certain degree, but it's different aspects of the game because LeBron plays the point guard, so he's ball dominant. Giannis just tries to take the ball and try to go coast to coast with it, and a lot of times trying to draw him with the fouls, and it's his shooting ability that really pisses me off. I hate the guy, man. Like you say, he tries to do too much outside of his position. LeBron is definitely more skilled, but when it comes down to Giannis, it's to the point that when he plays, it kind of pisses me off because it's sloppy. It's sloppy because it's no skill in his play. And I think he went back and forth with James, and it was regarding James Harden, and it was regarding skill also. And you can't talk skill when you talk to James Harden because that's a very skillful player.
Right.
He changed the league with the drawing in the fouls. I know everybody don't like that shit, but Cuz was averaging almost 40 in Houston doing his shit.
So you feel like James don't get the proper credit he gets?
He don't. He don't.
Would you argue and say that James Harden is probably the third greatest shooting guard, third or fourth greatest shooting guard?
It's argument to be had. It's argument to be had. He just don't have no hardware behind it.
Right.
So if
the other three guys do.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
So let me ask you this, because we still talking playoff basketball. Mm-hmm. If Kawhi and James get a championship this year, does that now put James in that category?
It's not enough.
Even with taking a team like the Clippers to a championship, first ever championship, a known losing franchise, and James takes them there.
And that means Ben Simmons gets his first ring also too.
Right.
That'll be crazy.
Right.
It'll be in the talks, but when you're talking about the top 5 best 2 guards ever, just from one ring, I mean, we can't really do that. Because Joe Dumars got 2 rings, don't it?
So you taking Joe over James?
I'm just saying, if we just going off of just hardware.
I mean, should we just go off of hardware?
We shouldn't, but that's how people base their opinions on the best ever. When they put your Mount Rushmore up.
So I got one for you then.
All right.
If Kawhi gets another ring.
This would be number 3, correct?
This would be number 3.
All right.
Does he deserve to be in the top 10?
I believe so, because he plays on both sides of the ball.
I'll be honest, and a lot of people think I'm crazy when I say this. Kawhi game is the closest game I've seen to Michael Jordan.
I can agree to that.
And a lot of people don't understand what I mean by that, but they got a lot of similarities in their game.
He's just not as durable as Mike.
Yeah. But the post up, fadeaways, the defense, palming the ball.
And people forget to realize motherfucker got some big hands.
Yeah,
man.
how clutch he is. You know what I'm saying? He's taken a franchise in Toronto that I don't think anybody ever thought they would ever see a championship in Canada.
He did.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he put San Antonio on his back on their last days because Tim wasn't the same Tim Duncan, Tony Parker wasn't the same, because all those guys would literally retire shortly after that.
Of course, right.
So if he was to bring a championship to LA with the Clippers and not the Lakers,
right,
that should consider him possibly a top 10 of all time.
I could put him in my, if we're saying that as a 2 guard, I could put him in my top 4.
We're gonna put him as a 3.
All right, if we're gonna do a 3,
or at the 3, small forward.
Yeah.
Where is he ranked?
Oof.
Is he over Durant?
the Rams with Golden State, so it's kind of like, ugh.
He got an asterisk by his championships.
I wouldn't say an asterisk, but it's just like, you know.
Kawhi took Toronto to that's a whole different kind of task.
Yeah, you know, Kawhi shit was out the mud, man. It was out the mud. It was a little bit more organic. It was,
yeah,
you know,
and he had a lot of memorable moments. Like that last shot he hit on Philadelphia.
That bounced in against Philly.
Yeah.
And then B went to the tunnel crying. I remember that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So if we doing it like that, yeah, he'll go on my top four Rushmore. If they was to get a chip this year, and he do this with the Clippers.
Okay, so over Bird.
Over Bird, man, you gotta ask some of them Generation X niggas about that nigga. I don't even want to go into that Bird shit. And it's not fair to me giving him an opinion because I'm just going off of strictly like highlights.
Right.
But Bird was good for his time.
Right.
Man, Bird couldn't jump over a piece of paper, man.
Yeah, so but can Luka? Can Jokic?
Luka can get up there when he want to. He just complained too fucking much about calls. That's what prevent him getting back on defense.
Right.
So that's his downfall. But I can't really speak on Larry. Larry was good for his time. It was the 80s.
Yeah.
And Mike lost a lot of them time to them niggas. So I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this too. Playoffs.
Yeah.
Who in the finals? Who winning the finals?
All right, let's start here. We go East and then West, right?
Yeah, because we stayed in the West quite a bit.
Yeah,
we didn't talk about the East, but that's because for the most part the East
It's
sucks.
given. It's almost a given.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna be Boston. I'm gonna do Boston and I'm gonna do Cleveland.
In the Eastern Conference?
In the East Conference, I'm going with Boston and Cleveland.
Okay.
And
who you got in the West?
The matchup. What was that? What you said?
Who we got in the West? I know you're gonna give it to Oklahoma. That's one of them, right?
Of course. I'm trying to see who gonna really pull it off and get there. So
I think it's LA. I think it's the Clippers though.
I'm kind of, man, I don't know, man. It's still early, man. I don't know.
The only reason why I say that is because if I take all the X factors from every team, I think Kawhi Leonard is the biggest X factor in the Western Conference.
But he has to stay healthy.
Yeah, well that's why he's the X factor though.
Yeah.
You know, if he was healthy, I would automatically maybe give it to him because in playoff time, he a different animal.
Right. So I mean, so if Kawhi was to stay healthy, of course I'd be like, yeah, you know, it'll be okay seeing LA, the Clippers, but you know, we'll see when the second round come around, and I'll probably give you a better take on that also.
Man, you got to stand on something though. We can't wait till the
fuck it is what it is. We're gonna roll the dice. I'm going with OKC and Minnesota. Fuck it.
Okay.
What I do?
Yeah. You know what? You like Minnesota, bro. I'm gonna tell you though. I'm gonna tell you why it's hard for me to say I could rock with Minnesota.
Why you say that?
Because of who they got at that 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I ain't rocking with Frenchie, bro. Like he too soft.
You talking about the defensive player of the year? That guy?
Man, so you think he's a defensive player of the year?
You know?
Do you think he's of that caliber? Let's be honest.
I tell you what. If your life depended on it, right? And they say, look, the score is 10-1. Rudy Gobert got 1. I mean, matter of fact, it's 10-1, and y'all going to 12. All you got to do is score 2 points. They said, if you score 2 points, we'll give you $1 million. Do you think you can score 2 points on Rudy Gobert? Waking up out the bed right now. You got your gym shorts on right now.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. It depends. It depends on how close he's playing me. Because I'm taking a 3 from deep, I might get hit.
You forget this motherfucker 7-foot tall.
Yeah, but look, I done seen Rudy get lost on defense. And then you gotta realize too, man, basketball is a team sport.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? That's a one-on-one situation.
It is.
Now, if you give me a team where we can pick and roll and maybe get this nigga lost on the pick and roll, you know what I'm saying?
Get him dancing.
I feel like we might can pull that off.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? In a straight up one-on-one situation, Man, you an NBA player. Any NBA player should lock a regular person down.
Of course, but see, that's why I said that, like, a lot of people can have their opinions about a lot of these basketball players, and it could be somebody that's in the G League. Man, somebody in the G League will tear our ass up.
Yeah, hey, look, I've seen it before. I've seen Brian Scalabrine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Play these
Playing
guys.
regular Joes.
Yeah, and they can't get a bucket off of them.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's different, bro. It's levels. It's definitely levels. It's levels too.
Right.
Hey, make sure y'all tune into I Got Drinks Drinking Partners, y'all. It's me, IGT.
And it's me, Caleb the Creator, with a special edition from ABK6. In the mix, don't miss.
Y'all go drink all these bottles right here.
All day long.
Those are burnt.
Welcome to Centurion Car Care, located at 11857 Florida Boulevard, where we do quality work at an affordable price. We also do paint and body, exhaust work, and any minor and major mechanic work. Best mechanic shop south of the Mississippi.
So look, we took a quick commercial break. You know, shout out to our sponsor, ABK6, Centurion Car Care.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Dance and Gentlemen Club. You know, shout out to y'all.
Right.
Yeah, but look, before we go, man, it's one subject that's been buzzing lately, and I want your opinion on it.
What's up with it?
Shannon Sharpe, man.
Yeah. Freak ass unk.
Yeah. Kanye
as a
level
bitch.
unk, man.
Man, you know, it's a lot when it come down to that, man. You know, they got the allegations, you know, when it come down to him and his stylist first. Hollywood. Yeah, right? That was the stylist name? Hollywood.
Yeah. Hey, so you already getting to it. You trying to say Shannon,
No, I'm just, you know.
Shannon play for the Broncos like the ride Broncos, huh?
I ain't saying that, I'm just saying. You courtside, you know, you courtside with the stylist, and, you know, people gonna make
What you may think, man? You courtside with your stylist. You just said it.
Courtside, man, you know. Gotta style them right. I think after you know, he went, you know, public with that guy consistently, courtside with him, you know, he wanted to kind of kill those rumors, and that's why his phone all of a sudden went on an Instagram live link, and he forgot.
Oh yeah,
and all that shit.
Conveniently.
And he getting his freak on. He getting freaky as a bitch. But I could tell from the video in itself, I say, cuz like it's another level of freak he on. And we seen this with the white girl.
Right.
Because he had to get an OnlyFans model. It's 19, 20-year-old.
Yeah.
And that's a big ass age gap, because Shannon, what, 55, 56?
Yeah, something like that. He grandfather age now.
Yeah, he grandfather. He definitely, he OG on for real.
Right.
With that, but when you playing with a lot of paper, because there's $50 million on the table with Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah.
You have to be careful, man. You have to be careful, especially by you being a black man, and you know. You playing with a lot of money, and you know this is life-changing money, and your wealth. You have to watch who's around you, and you have to control your urges. And I don't think he ain't got the right niggas in his corner to guide him like he's supposed to.
Hey, but he's 56, man. What age do you need the right niggas in your corner to make the right decision?
It's never too late. It's never too late. A Of course, you know, it's some urge he should control, but you know, I mean, at the end of the day, he a man, and I guess he felt like it was open enough with that, with that OnlyFans model, the way he could get his freak on, and they doing this race play shit. Because I can only imagine the other shit that we don't know about when it come down to them too. Fuck, he could have race played a goddamn slave coming from the field and fucked up clothes coming in there acting like, that's the master daughter from the looks of it. Cause that seemed like what it's about, one of those black and white relationships, it's a fetish.
Right,
That's
right.
all,
So let me ask you, I got a hot take, bro. You tell me what you think. I feel like a lot of black women was upset with Shannon, especially older black women were upset with Shannon in this situation and giving him a hard time because he wasn't choosing on them.
Well, Shannon, he went on record and said them hoes broke. In so many words, he said wage. He said they talking about the age, but he looking at their wage. So apparently he calling a lot of them, older black women broke. So apparently the ones that he's tried to date or tried to entertain ain't papered up enough.
They want too much.
Or they want too much, and a lot of them do be over the hill when it come down to their expectations and that. And of course, this $1 million nigga. Do you have what it takes to deal with $1 million nigga? And I don't think a lot of women really understand that too when you dealing with that type of nigga. You pretty much can't tell him no. You have to be okay with him cheating whenever you want to, because what you gonna do? You gonna leave? Bye. Are you willing to accept that type of lifestyle?
And this is the reason why I asked that too, because I feel like because a lot of older black women probably wanted Shannon, they was upset about it. But I made the statement, if this was Bruce in the same situation.
Lavelle Crawford, yeah.
Yeah, do you think they would be as upset with him that he did this?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So why do you feel like that?
Because he hot right now.
Right.
Just like all the actors, whoever popping. Michael B. Jordan had his time. It just go down the list. It's just whoever popping now. So the money come with the popularity. Just like Chris Beasley right now. A friend of mine, they going crazy with these fucking tickets, man. They doing whatever they got to do to get these Chris Brown tickets. They forget what the fuck didn't happen 10, 15 years ago. They ain't think about that type of shit. Cause it's all about what's going on right now, what's popping right now.
Yeah.
So you got the popularity with the money. Sky's the limit. With any woman you want. Married, it don't even matter. Married women going too.
Right. You know what? We almost jumped. Man, you should have came on my show yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna save them kind of topics for later.
Oh yeah, I got
because I know
we
keeping this on the sports kick, but it got so real that I had to let you land with that. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah. So look, we gonna go ahead and wrap it up, but before we go, let them know once again where to follow you at, and what anything else you want the people to know.
Well, Skylar for sure. Skylar, man, just a regular 9-to-5 guy, man. Nothing too much about me, man. I'm an advocate. I'm gonna get to that. I'm an advocate for for the stand-up guys, the 9-to-5 guys, man. Going to work, doing what you got to do to provide, man. Because as long as you're able to provide, do what you have to do. Got a roof over your head, got a transportation, but you're doing all right. Don't let social media tell you ain't doing what these other guys doing, because you don't know these other guys' lifestyles when that camera go down. You don't know. And I done seen the other side of that shit by me growing up in the industry, because my mother was a comedian. Being around, certain celebrities and, knowing the dark side of this shit too. So, if you seen House Party 3, of course you seen the dinner table scene, Jawbone. That was my mama that played the mother of the bride in that movie. Class Act, Def Comedy Jam, all that. So I got a background when it come down to this entertainment shit. So other than that, man, I got a long story, man. Veteran. I did a year overseas, in Afghanistan. So a couple trades under my belt. So just a regular guy about just getting it out the mud, man, and advocate for the for the 9-to-5 niggas, man. But Instagram is 31089. It's the number 3. You spell out TEN and it's 89, man. And that's pretty much about me, man. That's it.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's a bet.
Yeah, so appreciate you having me, dog.
So look, we're gonna have you back on Move the Chains. We're gonna be back to the regular format, but we gonna see you. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have you up here with Parlay We and J.K. Lee
For sure.
and the rest of the crew. So you know what I'm saying? Y'all be ready for them.
So looking forward to it, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right, and that's a bet. We out.
All right.